How's it going, guys? We're back again doing another one of these pros and cons videos, this time with the Samurai. This way we can help you decide if you want to play Samurai going into Stormblood. Let's go straight into the pros. The pros for Samurai is that they're going to have one of the highest single target DPSs in the game, period. They've got several high potency attacks, and they're melee. So being able to move around while using your abilities, it's just gonna be crazy. They got really good AoE as well to go with their single target. A lot of the people in the forums and things are saying that they're gonna have the highest melee class AoE in the game, which isn't nothing really to be too surprised about. In the class action trailer preview playing in the background here, you can see they do show off several AoE skills to show off a lot of the single target skills you'll be using. This isn't too surprising, seeing how the monk's AoE is laughable. The ninja only has a couple. They're getting the new frog thing, which looks like it's another AoE. I haven't really looked too much into that one yet for the ninjas. And the dragoon always had solid AoE. It wasn't the greatest, but it was solid. It was really good. You could depend on it. So the fact that the samurai's coming in with a super high single target damage and a really solid AoE damage, potentially putting them above the other melee classes for AoE. Not too surprisingly, but there are some serious trade-offs that we'll get to when we get into the cons. For the second pro that they've got, the samurai is boasting a really solid mobility. They got an ability called a Jyoten and a Yaten. I cannot pronounce these. You guys just have to forgive me, overlook it. But it's their dash in and dash out. Their low cooldowns, not bad. You can dash out of AoEs, dash into out of AoEs, whatever, however the case may be, for whichever raids, dungeons, whatever you're doing. Really good mobility, short cooldowns. They should be able to be used quite frequently to help you get out of AoEs and stuff. The other thing they got is they got a few abilities that I would like to point out as insane damage. One is the Setsu Gikai. Like I said, I cannot pronounce these names. It's the 720 potency attack that almost everybody I'm pretty sure has heard of from the forums and everything. It's just a crazy high potency. The other one that I hadn't really heard too much about is their AoE super high potency called the Hisatsu Guren, which is an 800 potency in a straight line. It deals 25% less for the second target, 50% less for everyone after that. Going into the next section for the cons, there's not a whole lot to talk to. Some of it was already covered with the Red Mage. But the number one con is going to be that there is no guides for the Samurai right now. Go when Stormblood launches early access. After early access, there might be a few guides out for Stormblood, or not Stormblood, but for Red Mage and Samurai, but there's not going to be a lot. There's not going to be a whole lot of correct information. Because right now it's mostly just speculations and people that think this is how it's gonna work, how you're gonna have to do it, etc., etc. I mean, it's nothing set in stone yet, because everything is still changing. Everything is still subject to change. We just found out today that Yoshi P came out and said that they done changed the fact that everybody was blowing up about the lilies with White Mage. They've changed that before the media tour was even took place. They was playing an older version. So I mean, it's a lot of things are always changing, but as it sets right now, there are no guides, and no one's going to really know until we actually get hands-on experience. So I wouldn't expect a guide for Samurai until at least after the first week the Stormblood itself has been on the shelves. Then there might be a few guides popping up here and there, but nothing. I don't think they're going to be selling anything super in-depth, because it is a brand new class. Everyone has to work it, learn it. The other con is that the Samurai is boasting insanely high damage. It's both single target and AoE. On the downside, they have no raid utility outside of one ability that gives a 10% slash resistance debuff to the enemy. One target, slash resistance debuff 10%. That is pitiful as far as raid utility goes. But with the potencies of their attacks and the sheer damage that they're going to be pumping out, and with what they can pick up in the cross rolls, if the need a little extra raid utility for certain fights. I believe this can work. I believe they'll still be able to find a slot in raids. Just because of the damage. But their utility is not very good at all. It's fairly well known right now. They have the high mobility, they have the high damage, they have very crap utility. Going into the crossroll system, guys, they're picking up Diversion, which is basically the quelling strikes for melee. They're picking up Invigorate, which works pretty much the same way it does now in live. Picking up Goad, pretty much the same thing it is in live. Picking up Arm's Length, which is a kind of weird ability. It gives you a 30% slow to anything that attacks you for 15 seconds. I don't know if that's going to be useful or not. It's new. It's weird. We'll have to wait and see on that one. There you get Second Wind. Same thing as it is in live right now. They get Leg Sweep, which is a stun. No damage anymore. Bloodbath, pretty much the same thing unless it is in live. Feint is the physical version of Virus, affecting strength and dex. They get Crutch, which removes a bind or a heavy off of a party member, but not yourself. And they get True North, which basically takes the directional needs from your attacks away. You no longer need to worry about if you're in the flanking or if you're behind them. As far as the Samurai goes, this is not the most useful skill. As far as I could tell, you have no directional needs. Doesn't really matter where you're aiming for your abilities. It's all the same. Now, as a Samurai, you're going to want to take Diversion. You're going to need something to get that aggro down, because of just how high your potencies are and how fast the class looks like it's going to be playing. You're going to be building up aggro super quickly, so you're going to want to take that Diversion just to lower the aggro so you can help the tanks a bit. That way you ain't constantly pulling the aggro on every single pull from the tanks. Then you're probably going to want to take Invigorate for the extra 400 TP restore, just for those long fights. It's going to be helpful. It's always been helpful. After that, it's really, I think it's going to come down to pretty much the dungeon after that. Those are like the only two that are mandatory, I would say. I mean, because you could take Goad, help out a little bit more raid utility. You could help someone out with it. Feint, always nice. I mean, that would probably be my third ability pretty much all the time, is Feint, because it's the physical version of a virus. Just that little helpfulness, always welcomed. I mean, you could take Leg Sweep, help out with some stuns or something, because, I mean, your damage is already so high. A no damage stun isn't going to hurt you that bad. I mean, the only ones I can see not being taken is the True North and Arm's Length. Because True North, like I said, you have your attacks, doesn't matter if you're in the feint or if you're flanking or if you're behind them. It doesn't matter with your attacks. Still the same potency, no additional effects as far as I could tell. I could be wrong, but as far as I could tell when I was looking over the abilities yesterday, not that big of a deal. And then Arm's Length, like I said, it gives everything a 30% slow that attacks you. In raids and dungeons, you're not going to be getting attacked a whole lot unless you're pulling aggro off of the boss or the tanks, which is why you're taking Diversion anyway. So you won't be pulling the aggro off the tanks. So Arm's Length, I'm not seeing that being used a whole lot at all. Crutch, I can see being used, being able to remove a bind or a heavy off of your healers or your tank or whoever, so you can keep the aggro. I can see that being useful in certain situations. Probably not going to be one you're going to pick up a whole lot, but you might have to occasionally. Bloodbath, being able to get that heal off of that 720 or higher potency hit is just crazy. Second Wind is a heal based off of your attack power. It could be your oh shit button, basically. And that pretty much covers it, guys. Samurai is looking to be a really fun class. It's looking to be a fast-paced, high-damage, low-utility class that is looking to be a whole lot of fun. I'm personally going to wind up trying it out. But We'll see how it turns out. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.